with the guilty plea and the jury finding Tom guilty is the correct verdict. I feel remorse about his walking through that door heading for prison. I'll never see him again. And so consequently I've ended up now losing a son, but I have much greater pain over the fact that I lost Susan 2 years ago. And this is justice being served. And I recognize that, and I think that the jury did an admirable job, and I think that the defense did as fine a job as they could do with what they had to work with. There's very little that they had to try to defend Tom with, and the fact that the jury did see their way clear. My name was used rather extensively in the defense, and I'm glad that the jury saw through all of that. I had to leave the hearings at one point in the rebuttal because of the comments that were being made were so false, and the true reason for my being well aware of what happened to Susan was the fact that 2 days before she came back from the Bahamas, we were sitting at breakfast, and she said to me, "I think Tom's going to try to kill me," and that could not be brought out in the trial. That's why I was on to so quickly when I came back and could not find Susan answering the telephone at home. And immediately upon my return, getting others involved, looking for Susan even before I got home, and for Debbie Timpone to enter the home with me, looking for Susan, and my going out and looking for the vehicle that Tom might have driven away in. I knew he couldn't drive away in both the van and his own vehicle, so one of the two had to be in the area, and I did in fact then find his vehicle, and that led to his arrest when he tried to return by cab. It was such a great stroke of luck on our part, catching him on his way out of town.
Why did Susan think that Tom was trying to kill her?
Pardon?
What made Susan believe that Tom was trying to kill her?
A few days before she came out to the Bahamas, Tom met with her and tried to get her to select colors for a supposed paint job that he had for a condominium out on Longboat Key, of which we found there was no job, and that he wanted her to select the colors. In doing so, she said he had a really hatred look in his eyes, and she felt strongly that he tried to entrap her to go to the office where she felt that her life was be in danger. At that time, she called, or I shouldn't say called, asked Jim to meet with her at the office, to be with her when Tom arrived. Tom never did show up for that meeting.
Sir, at some point the defense started to shift the suspicion in your direction. What were your feelings when that started happening?
I knew in advance that they would try to point the finger at me because that was their only defense. I was aware of some of the things that they might try to state. I was prepared for it, but really not prepared for it the way it came down. I knew I wasn't guilty, and some of the statements, and in my own testimony at the very end, when he tried to portray the fact that I tried to offer Susan's diamond ring to him when he was in prison, that was just a partial sentence. He decided to select the wording that he wanted to put on the record, and it was not the true sense of what was transpiring. Quite frankly, I went to the jail to try to get Tom to tell me what he had done with Susan's body, and in the process I told him, "You will in fact have to admit guilt when you tell me, but I will see to it that there will be funds for you to provide yourself with defense, part of which will be the sale of Susan's ring and other items." And that's where that all came from.
How do you move forward now? Are you going to...
Same way I've been moving forward for the last 2 years. Just continue living day by day, doing what I've done for years. That's being a general contractor. We have work. We're one of the few. But we do have work in process. So I will still maintain my posture as a general contractor. And probably doing some traveling and doing some other things on my own. But Susan and I did have plans to do many things, and of course, without her, a lot of those have been dropped by the wayside, and I won't be doing those things. But I will be looking forward to continuing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. I want to thank the press on behalf of this case from the very beginning, from your volunteering to publicize the search for Susan and everything that has happened for the last 2 years. I think that the press has treated me and the situation most fairly, and I certainly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Best.